If you are poor, there's no edge for you on this world. Until you begin to condition your mind as that of a rich person, you may never position yourself well. The illusion in my mind does not think, okay, at least I get more money, make I just demand it. No, I'm not comfortable with where I am. My illusion has metamorphosed from my reality into a space where that there are possibilities that I'm thinking of are not even in my present state. Hello everyone, welcome to TRWE Podcast with Gospel Izik, a place where we talk about growth, the gospel, and the God factor in everything meaningful. It's not just a podcast, it's a place where worship meets wisdom, a place of refining, a place of discovery, and a place of transformation. And I'm excited to have you in today's episode of this podcast, which is a very interesting one. It might come off uncomfortable for some people because of the definition of the topic I'm about to treat today. The human world functions as a result of truth because people run with what they can feel at the time, what they can see at the time, and what they can hear at the time. But in many thriving societies, one of the ways that people advance is not through their realities, is through the picture they have in their mind. No thriving community thrives on just a certain reality that they can see now. Every thriving society, every thriving ideology thrives on the knowledge or the vision they have about that society. That's why I'm titling today's episode, Illusion, the power that changes things. You know, when you hear the word illusion, it sends a negative image because, illusion means like a false or misleading interpretation of something that is not your reality. But I have discovered through study and through life experience that transformation truly comes by the existence of illusion. I mean to say that illusion is when you believe, you think, and you act based on something that is in your mind more than something that is in your truth at the time. Because you see, many a times people have limitations in their lives because of truth. Truth in the sense that my reality now is what drives my life and not the mental picture I have about myself. Many a times when we come to a place where that God has given us visions and God has given us opportunities to thrive through the ability for us to have a mental picture of where we want to be, we tend to settle down on our present reality and lose focus on the things that God has placed in our mind, which is our illusion. So illusion is like a situation whereby you have a mental picture of something that is not your reality. And many a times, if you look at it, people like to say, let's focus on the truth. Let's focus on the reality. Although in a certain space that is important, you must look at reality, you must talk about reality. But many a times, if you want to advance, if you want to thrive bigger than where you are right now, you must thrive on the platform of illusion. Something must be in your mind that is bigger than your present reality. Something must be in your focus that is bigger than your reality. And many a times we see the truths that we believe, the truths that we think about, is as a function of our background. It's a function of the environment we find ourselves. It's a function of what people have told us. Growing up, you hear parents that are not well-to-do tell their children that you are not enough. Don't compete with the big boys. Don't compete with rich children. You don't have what it takes. Your father is not rich. I remember growing up, my father would always say, your father is not rich. Don't go and bring problem to me. Don't go and do this. Don't go and do that. Your father is not rich. So we grew with the reality that we are poor. Although it is a it is a misconception on their part, like the parents' part. But as much as it is a misconception on their part, it created a perception for what we believe as adults today. It created a perception of what the average young adult thinks about himself or herself. Because many times, if you check it, the things that are your reality now were given back to by the foundations of what your parents said to you, what your society said to you, what the environment you were said to you. The popular saying where you say, when you are young, your background affects you. But when you grow older, you must affect your background. The moment you begin to still say that, oh, my background is the reason why I'm the way I am, it's no longer a problem of what you inherited. It's now a problem of responsibility. You're not responsible enough. Of a truth, the perception that we have about things, about people, about connections, about association was given back to by the backgrounds we came out from, by the environment we grow in. But the problem is that an illusion must be in your mind that must separate you from the background that you came out from. The thing that shapes a man is not necessarily the things that he grew from. It's the thing that his mind cultivated over time. So you must create, and there must be an illusion in your mind that must be separate from your reality. If you're not able to understand this, you may be limited for a long time. You grew up hearing things that, don't associate with that family. They are rich. We don't want problem. You see, not knowing that it is in association that your horizon begins to enlarge. It is in association that you begin to advance in life. But because of the limitation of poverty, many times from the backgrounds we came from, and I'm speaking to everyone, because in many situations, it's not just because you're poor. In many situations, your parents didn't even want you to associate with people in general. And it may not even just be association now. It may be the words that were spoken to you. Why are you not first in class? Are you that dumb? This is coming from a child that got maybe 5th or 6th in class. As far as your parents are not seeing first in that place, there's a problem already. I remember when I was growing up, when we were going home, if maybe your result is saying 13, we'll clean the tree. We'll look for a way to clean the tree so that the one will be there. So when my dad sees it, say, oh, wow, you took first. Are you serious? They will celebrate because you took first. But when you take something like 13, 12, 11, 10, it looks as if you are dull. And this is an African parent, stigma. Many children have this stigma. A lot of us grew up with the fact that we are not enough until we are first in class. But how far now? You will take first. How far now? I was seeing the meme that say you will cover your book now. Oh yeah, cover life now. Cover life, but see, you cannot cover life because now life has taught you that first position is not meaning that you will get first position in life. Am I discouraging people from getting intellectually vibrant in class enough to take first? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that first position is not equal to first position in life. If you're a parent watching this, I need you to understand that the position of your child in class will not result to the position of their self in destiny and purpose. Because we have beaten away self-esteem for our children because of the first position in class. And this is the reason why many people grew up with low self-esteem. They did not believe they could be anything in life. They grew up with the knowledge that they are not enough. Because our parents, they use beating and remove self-esteem. My God. If you come to understand that the value of a person is not in his position in class, you will come to understand that the power that changes things is not in position, is an illusion. My mind is productive enough to determine my decisions. So you understand what I'm saying? It's very important that as a person, the illusion in your mind must control your life. Because you see, a man that thinks that he's not enough, his life will automatically go in that sequence. A man that thinks that I'm not enough, I don't deserve this, you will end up seeing that the things that you actually deserve will not come to you. A woman that feels she's unworthy of love, she will reject love even at the purest state. You know, I've met with people that they're very talented singers. They're amazing singers. But they don't want to sing. They don't have the prompt, the push to sing. They are amazing singers. Believe me, there was somebody I was even talking to. She has the potency of singing in the largest auditoriums, and it will be recognized as beautiful singing. But if you tell her to hold the mic, she's afraid of the microphone. And I came to discover that it's not that didn't just happen to her because she's timid or she cannot sing. It's as a result of the things that they have told her at home, probably. That, oh, this music ministry, this music something, don't they pay? Don't do this. Focus on business. Focus on this. So she's focusing on her business. She's very good at what she does business-wise. But when it comes to singing, she doesn't want to sing. Because she feels, because of the words that have been spoken to her, her mind has been distorted when it comes to singing. So you see that it's important that what happens, what goes on internally can affect what happens externally. You must be conscious through illusion to focus on the internal more than the externals. I understand that a person that must thrive in a certain field must thrive so internally first before you begin to thrive externally. So it is important. You know, I did a study and I discovered that 99% of the children who grew up in wealthy families become wealthy themselves. And the study also proves that it is 60% of the children that come from poor background that actually succeed. And I came to understand that it is because of the conditioning of their minds. Although it is a limitation for the people that are poor, because for the rich man's children, he puts them in places where their mind does not think about limitation. He puts them in places where their mind does not think about liabilities. They don't associate. A rich man's children does not find pleasure in associating with a poor man's child. But it is a poor man's child that finds it difficult to associate with people because they feel that anything you say, you are intimidating them. Anything you do, you are trying to blackmail them. You're trying to look them less. You're trying to look down on them. Their mind is not configured to think big. So everything you say to them, they are seeing it from the point of view that their mind has created. You know, this is important because there was a season of my life where I could not talk to rich people. And this thing is very, very true. If you notice, if you have truth yourself, you will notice this thing I'm saying. Especially when you came from a poor background. I found it difficult to speak to people that are wealthy, to rich people. And this was not because I was not in places where I met them. I was in positions where I met with the rich people. I met with guys that were doing well. But I did not have what it takes to talk to them. I did not have what they will call, the balls to speak to a person that is wealthy or that is doing well. I was timid. And this was as a result of the words that I heard when I was growing up. Oh, no, these guys, they're very, very pompous. They're very proud. They're not proud. They are just wealthy. Do you understand what I'm saying? They are not proud. The rich are not proud. The rich are just rich. If you are rich, the condition of riches will position you in a certain way where people will think that you are proud. So I intentionally worked on myself. I intentionally spoke to myself. You must advance beyond this. There's a level. So my mind began to think the way a rich person would think. I started to study what rich people study. If I see a rich person reading a book, I will go and get the book and read the book. If I see a rich person talking like this, I will go and practice how to talk like this. If I see a rich person act like this, I will start to act like that, to condition my mind to begin to come to the place where I can meet up to the standard. Because you see, the world does not revolve around you because you are poor. If you are poor, there's no edge for you on this world. So you must condition your mind to begin to think like the wealthy for you to get wealth. Because you see, illusion is an attraction. It attracts. It's a magnetic field. It brings the possibilities that are in your mind to your life. Illusion helps you to bring the possibilities in your mind into being. Because you see, what you think about a lot can form the mental picture in your mind, then it becomes a reality. So I started noticing that my mind began to change. I started to learn new vocabularies. I started to learn new words. I didn't learn this in school because the school I even went to, they condition you to feel that you are still pro. I went to a government secondary school and there's nothing wrong with going to a government secondary school. You see, everything has to do with the functionality of your mind at the end of the day. So where you grow up, it's not a yardstick for where your life is now. So don't use it as an excuse. The school I grew up, in fact, we were speaking pidgin English in class. So there was no room for growth. We just knew that life has to be better than this by our own self-involvement in the improvement of our minds. So I started to talk like them. I started to, and the more I began to speak and learn like them, I began to meet with them. And as I began to meet with them, I began to interact with them. As I began to interact with them, I began to grow in my space. I began to grow in my mind. I began to grow in the things I do. And let me tell you what I did one time. I noticed that I was getting a lot of money at the time, but I was still broke. I was broke in the condition of my mind because I held on to money because I had not experienced money before. So I would not, even if I need something urgently, I will not pay for it, even if I have the money. Because I feel if I spend this money, now the money finish, where will I get another one? That's how our minds have been conditioned. I saw my dad. My dad was working and he was doing a lot for all of us he was doing a lot for all of us. But I noticed that he was not growing financially because he will receive money and we'll need this, we'll need that. He will not be able to provide because he's holding on to money so that in case somebody is sick, So he was holding money in case. As much as that is good, it conditions your mind to think lack. Are you getting what I'm saying? So I noticed that as a pattern and I said to myself, I was going to stop this. So what I did was that every time I get money, and this is not a financial advice, disclaimer, this is not a financial advice. Every time I get money, I will go into a supermarket and I will pick things at random. Everything I need, I will pick it at random and I will go to the machine and I will pay. I will not think about how much it will cost. I will not think about, the money don't pass the budget. As far as I need it, I will purchase it. You know why I was doing that? I was not doing that because I'm reckless financially. I'm not. I was doing that to condition my mind to think as a rich person. I was doing that to position my mind to imagine myself in abundance. So I spent money like a rich person. I will go to some guy, how much is this? I will never ask, reduce the price now, I'll bring the price. Take, If I take a bike somewhere and the bike says this is the amount, I just pay. I was not doing it because I was foolish. I was doing it to intentionally position my mind to think prosperity. And as I began to do this, I began to thrive. I began to do this, I began to thrive financially. I met a woman in the bank in Jabi. I went with one of my friends and I saw her. She was making a phone call and she said, "Oh, I need some goods to be imported from China. Do this, do that. This guy is I'm working with this. The guy is not doing it well. He's not, my goods are missing." And I remember that I have a friend that works that has a company in China that does import and export. So, you see, how I have conditioned my mind is that I see opportunities in everything that's around me. So as I do one was speaking, normally a poor person, and when I'm saying poor, I don't mean financially poor many times. I'm saying a poor person in his mind will say, I just married you, she get money. I wish if he just borrow me, give me like 50K now. See the way they mention million for you. That's how a poor person would think. But instantly, I remember that my friend has a company that does import and export. And I went to her. I walked up to her. I said, "Good afternoon, ma. I heard you talking about this deal in China and this that the person is giving issues." She said, yes. I said, "I have a company." I told her I have a company that does import and export from China. And I went to my friend's page and I showed her the page. I said, "This is the page, this is the page, this is the page. We do export, everything export and export." She said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yes." She collected my contact. 2 weeks later, I got a deal of money in millions. And the deal was sealed. The deal was signed. And I got paid. Because you see, until you begin to condition your mind as that of a rich person, you may never position yourself well. The illusion in my mind does not think, I'm never going to be, okay, at least I get more money, make I just demand it. No, I'm not comfortable with where I am. My illusion has metamorphosed from my reality into a space where there are possibilities that I'm thinking of are not even in my present state. This is the world changer. This is the game changer for everyone that must advance. Do you know that your mind can be the reason why you are not productive in relationships? Why people come to you and they cannot find pleasure? Because you can be so conditioned to think pity that every time you speak to the person you love, the person is drained. I'm saying that the person you love can love you very much. But if your mind is conditioned to take pity all the time, when the person comes on a call with you, you are wanting to be sounding pity. You are wanting to sound pitiable. "Oh, things are not working for me. Oh, I'm struggling with this. Oh, I'm struggling with that." As much as the person loves you, the person doesn't want to be in a situation where he's drained talking to you. So many times the problems we have is not because of circumstances many times. It's because of the truths that we have surrounded ourselves with. Truth can be the reason that somebody has a problem in his life. The reality of your life can be the reason why you are stuck. Your mind must be conditioned. So even when I'm going through stuff, you may hardly hear me talk about a hard season, because I've conditioned my mind to think about everything that happens to me as a milestone to excel in life. So illusion can make you to see present circumstances as a reason for upliftment. So when people are saying negative things about me or saying stuffs that may be true or may not be true, I don't talk about it, because the condition in my mind does not see them. I don't see challenges as a problem. I see challenges as a stepping stone for advancement. So when I hear people say things, I look at it, I even laugh about it many times, and I go past it. They will keep talking, but I keep advancing. That's the difference between me and them. That's the difference between you and everyone that they may look at you now and say, "You're just doing things, you're doing things shabbishly, I'm doing a podcast now. And maybe I do a podcast and I get 2 views. Somebody say, see, he's saying 2 views, just 2 views. Just 2 views, and you're stressing yourself every time for 2 views. But in my mind, the illusion in my mind is not seeing 2 views. They may see it, but that's not what I see. What I see is a monetized YouTube page that may properly yield into millions of dollars at the end of the day. What I see is the nations coming to understand truths through the voice that I have. What I see is nations, people from different continents of the world connecting to what I'm doing, getting insight and transforming their lives. That is what I see. So if someone that does not see what I see is laughing at me, jokes on him, jokes on her. Because what I see is not what you see. That's the difference between someone with illusion and somebody that is not with illusions. Illusions may be false now because they're not your present realities, but they will not be false forever. Illusions will change. They will metamorphose into reality. The things, the pictures in your mind, don't lose them. Don't lose the vision that you have. Don't lose the picture that you have because of your background. Don't look at your background as the reason why you are limited. Don't look at the space, the space that you are now as the limitations for your life. Look past it. Create a friction in your mind. Create a mental picture. It may look false, it may look impossible. But the more you look on it, the more you meditate upon it, the more you are focused on it, the more you will notice that your life begins to drift towards that path. Illusions create reality. Because illusions turns into perceptions, and perceptions are the reasons for growth. I think about this, and I don't look at myself from where I am right now. I look at myself from a different perspective. As I look at myself from that perspective, I evolve in life and destiny. This is how illusion can be the game changer for everyone that is on the pathway for purpose and destiny. Don't lose that mental picture in your mind. Don't lose that dream. John, you are enough. Every time your background speaks, you must alter that speech with a counter argument about what the speech is saying. If you grew up hearing the word that you are not enough, tell yourself I'm enough. If you grew up hearing that you can never amount to anything, say to yourself that I will amount to everything I want to amount to. If you grew up not receiving love, create an atmosphere where love thrives around you. If you have been hurt in the past, create an illusion in your mind where you are so much in love. Because that illusion will now turn to reality. But if you are bent on the truth that you carry, that truth may never result into anything meaningful. And I'm excited that you stayed and you watched to this point in this podcast. Do well to share this video, like this video, drop a comment. Also, do this for me. Turn on your notification bells so that you can receive every update from this podcast on YouTube, TRWE Podcast. Follow me also on Gospel Izik on all social media platforms, and let us connect as we enjoy knowledge for next level. God bless you.